The following presentation is brought to you by Heartland Media Group.
Capturing the moments that make life great.
Ladies all around the world, listen up. We're looking for you. The time has come to be unstoppable together. The danger of executive women is worrying we're not enough, obsessed with perfection and failing to perform. You're in the right place. It's now time to be unstoppable together with Connie Fife. She was the director of the United States Chamber of Commerce and CEO of Girl Scouts USA. Sit down, squat down, or lie down. It's time for Up or Out, all business with Connie Fife, your unstoppable diva and chair of the Fife Group, helping women in leadership achieve excellence and be unstoppable together.
This is Connie Fife, and you're listening to Up or Out with Connie. So we have some really exciting things going on. We have listened to what you had to say in terms of helping you. You know, people want to know, what is Up or Out? Well, Up or Out is we can help you move up into corporate. I've been there. Or we can help you get out. And that's what so many people are looking at right now. How can I get out? How can I start my own business? And it all came about because I've been, coaching and working with teams, corporate teams. And I actually had a group of CFOs and they're from major Fortune 100 companies. I'm not going to name names, but they came to me and said, we love your leadership program. We love what you're providing to us, but you're not telling us how to get out like you did. Now, granted, I didn't leave on my own. It was the Girl Scouts who said, bye, we're making a change and you don't fit into this change. And then I had to figure it out myself. So I have set my mission in life because I didn't know what I didn't know. And I was inquisitive enough to figure it out. And I've taken all of that and I am giving it to you. So that's what the outside is of the business. So up or out, we're here to help you. Excuse me. Now we have a Facebook group, the Up or Out Network. We would love for you to come there and join us. We have a lot of free advice and information that we're giving away every week. And we're just starting and we're putting out there our Monday Brew with the Boost. We're going to be giving you some freebies on how to grow your business. Like today out there and for the next several weeks, we have what we call the Comeback Pack, which is how do you increase sales without taking no and turning that no into a yes. That's what we're doing and that's what we're giving you. And we have so much more to be giving you there. So are you ready to go up and be heard in the boardroom? Or are you ready to go out and become an entrepreneur? So if you're looking for that advice on how to accelerate your business and how to become a high-performing person yourself, we got all the answers right here for you. Because every week we have exceptional guests, and today is no different. And I am so excited to invite you and introduce you to today's guest. But first, our quote, which is, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and a rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant, but we have forgotten the gift. Albert Einstein. Now, you would think that would have come from somebody today. No, Albert Einstein. So hang in there. We got a really quick sponsor break and we'll be right back and I will introduce you to today's guest. Hi, this is Connie Fife, your unstoppable diva, host of Up or Out with Connie. I am thrilled to be a headliner host on the C-Suite Network, where you can grow your brand, grow your tribe, and be unstoppable together. We are the hottest podcast for C-level executives and entrepreneurial leaders. Each week, we interview content leaders on leadership, personal brand, business, and influence. Continue hearing me right here on the C-Suite Network, also on iHeartRadio, SiriusXM, iTunes, and over 900 networks around the globe. Follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter because you don't want to miss any of the good stuff. Until next time, this is Connie Fife, your unstoppable diva. Be bold, be connected, and be unstoppable together. We're back and you're listening to Up or Out with Connie. Now, it is time to turn up the volume because right now, our guest is a decorated Vietnam veteran, award-winning author, speaker, 2012 inductee into the International Franchise Association's Hall of Fame. He's the president and CEO of the National Center for Policy Analysis. He's a take charge kind of guy who's responsible for the sale of NBA to UPS. And he was part of executing the largest rebranding in history of the retail system from MBE to the UPS store. He's authored several books, and his latest book is The Journey. We'll find out more on how you can get a copy of that. But from the boardroom to TV, today's guest is passionate about small business ownership and how to build wealth for families and for communities. I have the privilege to introduce to you right now, Jim Amos. Jim, welcome to the show.
Hi, Connie. Thanks for having me. I'm delighted.
I am so excited you're here. And we had so much going on before we even got on the show. But I am curious, The Journey, the book, is that out yet?
No, it's not. That's a book, I hate to confess this, but that's a book I've been working on for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
And as we were just talking about, I've missed every one of the publisher's deadlines coming up here. And so we just had a discussion about that. And I have to become more disciplined in my life and get it done. But, go ahead.
Let me ask you a quick question about that. I've also missed my deadline. You've missed your deadline. Now, do you see that as a pattern for entrepreneurs missing deadlines?
No, I don't. I see it as a pattern for overcommitted people. And I see it as I was just having a delightful conversation with a CEO a little earlier today, a lady CEO of a huge corporation. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about that no is a meaningful answer. And, it's a very difficult thing to do. And
it is.
Whether you're in a position of leadership or whether you're just trying to manage your own life, it's really important to understand that if you want to maintain and keep control of some of your life and time, that sometimes you just have to say no.
You do. And I've gotten better at it. I'm still not the best. I'm working on it. But I've definitely got better at it. Like every year I'm on boards of directors. And so then a couple of years ago, I said, okay, let's reduce it. Instead of being on 5 boards at once, let's just pick 2 that I'll rotate through every year. So this year it just so happened, usually they overlap. So it just so happened because of the term limits, this year my boards all ended. And and this was really hard for me, I made the decision to say, no, I am not going to be on any board for this year.
Wow.
And I've stuck to it. I really have. I had someone call me last week and they're like, we would like you. And I'm like, oh, let me hear more. And then afterwards, I'm like, no, like talking to myself. No, the answer is no, we're not going to do this. We said, we're taking this year off from boards and we're going to focus on the business. So it is hard to do.
Oh, no kidding. I hate to, I'm still on 7 boards, which is, it's as you know, if you have 4 meetings a year, that's 28 without committees, travel. Right. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
But I enjoy the work. I enjoy the strategic work at that level, and it's quite rewarding, actually.
And that is what I do. I like myself. It's the strategic. It's the overarching picture is really what I enjoy doing. But now I said this year I will take off. So, but I am already looking at what I'm going to join for next year.
Yeah, no, I understand completely.
And well, it's also good for business. I mean, it's a great networking opportunity. It's really a great way to get out there and connect and meet with your peers as well and share.
Well, there's no question.
Share the battlefield. With them.
One of the great values, one of the boards I sit on is at Procter & Gamble for their APFI or their franchising entities. Yeah. Cheryl Batchelder, who I mentioned earlier, is on that board with me, who is the CEO was the CEO of Popeyes and Church's. But we were discussing how valuable those relationships are. That board has gone on for about 8 years now, which is long. But the relationships you develop, the people you work with, it's very rewarding, actually.
Yeah, I built some phenomenal relationships with people just from being on the board. So I really do enjoy it. So you've really built your business around franchising and the work that you've done there. I mean, you were, was it president at MBE before it became UPS?
Yes, I was the president and CEO of mailboxes, etc.
Okay. So, I mean, that's always a question, especially for small business owners. Is franchising for me? So what would be your answer if somebody would ask that? Because I actually looked at a UPS franchise a couple of years ago myself.
Well, here's what I would say. I actually, one of the books I've written is The Complete Idiot's Guide to Franchising.
Okay.
I try hard within the framework of that book to answer that question with specificity.
I read that book.
Well, it's... My wife reminds me, my picture is on the cover, on the top, on the binder, and underneath it says The Complete Idiot, which my wife reminds me of all the time. But look, the answer to that question is business format franchising is an extraordinarily elegant economic engine. It generates about $2.3 trillion in our economy. It's larger than any other two economic sectors combined. And it employs about 23% of the private sector and generates about 12 or 13% of private sector profit. So it's a big business, but it is built on individual small businesses.
Right.
And so sometimes people misunderstand what franchising is about. Here's what I would say. There's nearly 300 industries that use the business format franchising model to scale.
I was surprised on how many I found. I mean, I think franchise, I think McDonald's, UPS store, Burger King, and then when I started doing my research, I mean, there were hundreds.
Yeah, well, there are.
In the franchise world. So I was totally surprised.
And they range from very low entry to hotels are in the millions of dollars, and they all use the same economic model. But the answer to the question is that, I encourage people to do a couple of things. One, just follow your passion. There's enough concepts out there that you can find something that you would like to do.
Right.
You don't think you would like to do it, don't do it.
Right.
The other thing is you want to plug into the International Franchise Association and do the due diligence that would be requisite. You want to talk to franchisees that are in that system, and you want to ask them basic questions like, if you had it to do over again, would you do it again?
Would you do it? Right.
And because it's an extraordinary way to go. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No.
People over and over and over again that have done it that will help assist you in enabling to avoid the potholes that are out there.
Right.
And frankly, it's made a whole lot of folks successful. There are over 1 million storefronts in America in business format franchising.
And a lot of them are franchises.
It's extraordinary. Yeah.
My claim on franchises, especially McDonald's, is my grandfather was the one who designed the first Golden Arches.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So, in Louisville, Kentucky, from Ray Kroc. So I actually have, when he went into the nursing home, he sketched a binder, like the 3-ring binder, like a 2-inch. Every single page was a sketch of a neon sign or something that he had created. But the McDonald's Golden Arches are not in that book.
Oh, my gosh.
I could be sitting on a gold mine, but the arches are not in that book. I'm like, why are they not in this book? But I do have them. I have the book. So I started doing that, and then my background is business. And then I took a look at, for me, what is it that I really do? And a lot of that is what you do as well on business and leadership and helping the small business owner lead and grow. So what's some of the concepts that you do when you're working with small business?
Look, really the entrepreneurial mindset, folks that have a desire to improve their life, A wonderful thing about franchising is that it epitomizes the American dream.
Yeah.
And that is to say that it enables people to pursue bettering themselves in their lives. And, I think that's been the most rewarding thing to me after 33 years in the segment, to see so many people grab hold of their dreams. And, because you are independent, but also interdependent, and you don't have to accomplish these things by yourselves. You have a lot of other folks that are helping you to get there.
Right.
It's a remarkable business concept, business idea in terms of business format franchising as an economic engine. So I would just say to people, first of all, a word about the American dream. I have found myself in recent years, because I think there's been so much politically, so much in terms of policy, so much in the business world certainly since late 2008, 2009, that has been destructive to business. Yeah. Much of the diatribe coming out of Washington, D.C. is an example. A lot of other things that have had a halo effect on recovery in our economy, and also a mindset, a cultural bent in our society that has leaned towards a concept of victimhood and a desire or a belief that success is a right and not a privilege, and it's just not true.
Right.
Beautiful thing. I mean, so I'd rather talk almost about the American promise, because the promise is that if you work hard and do your best, that you have a chance to accomplish things that maybe your parents didn't do, maybe accomplish more than you've ever been able to do in your life before.
Or dream that you would be able to do.
Yes, and it's quite remarkable, and you just have to have a passion for it. My daughters, through the years, ask me, Dad, what should I do? And I've always told them, just follow your passion. Don't follow the money. Follow the things that you're interested in. Follow the things that you can put your heart in. Have a passion for what you're doing, and focus on relationships. And I can tell you this, after 33 years, everything begins and ends with relationships.
Oh, it does. It's the people around you. It's the people who you work with. And the great thing is, choose who you want to work with. And sometimes you don't always have that choice, but as an entrepreneur, you could choose who you want to work with. So it's all relative and how you want to do that or look at it. Well, I need to take a really quick sponsor break, and when we come back, I'm going to be putting you in the hot seat.
Oh my goodness!
Hang in there.
Hi, this is Greg Davis. Connie asked me to pop in for a moment to tell you about a great opportunity. Have you ever listened to a podcast and thought, I should be doing that, but I don't know how, I don't know where to start? Well, Up or Out with Connie Fife has partnered with Park Lane Media Group to offer you PMR podcast production. What is PMR? Production, marketing, response. The three key elements you need to successfully build your podcast success. For more information, visit parklanemediagroup.com or email podcast@parklanemediagroup.com, and be sure to let them know that Connie sent you. You have a story to tell. We'll help you share it. Come to parklanemediagroup.com today and start building your podcast success.
We're back, and you're listening to Up or Out with WCONNIE. And joining us today is Jim Amos. Jim, how can our listeners find out more about you, find out more about your book that's going to come out someday?
Well, like everybody else today, you can Google me or Yahoo me. I'm all over the place, but I do a blog called Jim Amos Blog. It's just jimamusblog.com. And the whole sordid history is there. All the books, all of the speeches. In fact, you can sign up for the blog posting and to be notified of the speeches I'm giving and where I'm at. And take a look at that. And I'm happy to correspond with people at any time. You can also reach me at jamusjr@aol.com or jamus@eagleallianceinvestments.com, either one. And I'm happy to participate.
All right. jimamusblog.com sounds like the best way to find you and to connect with you. So it's time for the hot seat. So here we have some questions, and we want to know more about you, about the guy. We talked about business, so we're going to see what makes you tick.
Sure.
So if you're ready,
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we're going to start with, what's your favorite quote? What's that quote?
Gosh, yeah, that is something that I absolutely love, by the way. I suspect, just like you, I have kept thousands and thousands and thousands of quotes through the years.
Yes.
And so I have lots of them, but some, and just contemplating this, I like Churchill as an example. One of his quotes is, when you're going through hell, keep going.
Keep going.
And I've said that to myself many, many, many times. I love C.S. Lewis. And, in The Abolition of Man, he had a number of quotes that I thought were really extraordinary. One of them is that, we make men without chests and virtue. And then we expect them to succeed. And he talked about the fact that we laugh at honor, and we're shocked to find that we have traitors in our midst. And we we castrate the horses, and then bid the geldings to be profitable. And I think that's just very true in the age and time that we live in.
I think they're all circular, just like the one I did at the beginning from Albert Einstein. They're just like, it's relevant for today. They're definitely circular. I just wanted to really quick share. You said I have quotes. I have a book of quotes.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
Great quotes from great leaders. So there's some of the greats in that book. So it's really awesome.
Well, that's the inspiration that comes from the thoughts of men and women who have been in the crucible
for us. Yes,
are extraordinarily important.
They are.
The reality is, you were asking earlier about advice to small business owners or entrepreneurs. Right. If we're contemplative about our life, and we think about the people that have had the greatest impact on us, we realize that it's not the critics. It's those people that have been encouraging, those people that have created a greater horizon out in front of us, who have made us believe that we could be larger than we are and do more than we are. That kind of encouragement is hugely important. And talking about relationships, you want to try to stay around people like that if you can.
Absolutely. People that are positive. I mean, and going back to my family that I've talked about, I've only met and learned about them about 7 years ago, and I found out that I was adopted. So I had searched out my family, and that's how I found out.
That's wonderful.
About who they are in my family. And so even my grandfather, he was very creative and a writer on how-to books around marketing. And again, he was all about the neon signs around the world. I even went to his publisher, and I have a set of his books that he had written as well. So then that also, it was just something forward or passed to me to give me that strength that, yes, I can do this, because it's in my DNA and it came from my family, previously.
That's just wonderful.
Yeah. So did you know what you wanted to do right from the very start?
No. Well, it's not, again, I think most of those types of, for me,
yeah.
Every time I hear people say, well, I knew from the very beginning, I think there's a tremendous amount of revisionist history that's written by people that win and lose in life, but mostly the winners. I was raised in a family where, my dad and my mother were, neither one of them had high school degrees. My mother was a hairdresser, and my dad was a paper handler at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. So he was down in the ink pits, and he was pushing these 2,000-pound rolls into the presses for 30 some odd years. Mm-hmm. But they were great encouragers. Yeah. They as an example, didn't have a lot. Mm-hmm. When my dad died, he left a legacy that was really threefold. One, I knew that I was unconditionally loved.
Okay.
Two, he was excruciatingly honest. And so to this day, when I do the wrong thing or think about doing the wrong thing, I think about him. I think about what would he think. And he was just full of laughter. all of those, that's just a greater legacy than millions and millions of dollars would be. It's far more valuable. My mother went to, she didn't have any education. She worked as a hairdresser for many years, ultimately opened her own shop in St. Louis, went on to get a GED, and then she taught college in the avocational schools in St. Louis, as well as run her own store. So it was just kind of a remarkable legacy that I remain grateful for.
Yeah, I'd say so. And part of that, and I had mentioned to you before off air that I was interviewed about 50 executive women over the years. Every single one of them came from a family where either the parents had no education, or their one, her family was homeless when she was a teenager. She was actually 13. Yeah. And she's now an editor of the New York Times.
Well, you were asking me if I knew what I wanted to be. So my dad was, he was a World War II veteran. He'd been blown off 3 ships during World War II. He was a flag-waving chauvinist, really. And so when I was little, I didn't really play cowboys and Indians, but I fans of Iwo Jima with John Wayne all the time. And that obviously had an impact because, I went to school, went to college, and then graduated and went into the Marine Corps as an officer, and I did a couple of tours in Vietnam. And I'm certain directly because of that influence from my dad.
That was that influence, yeah. We definitely get that influence. I mean, and again, you talk about relationships. Like, so mine is a little bit different. In some cases, I didn't meet my family, but there was still that relationship and things that were passed forward to me that I'll never forget. Like my father, he did die when he was 32, but he passed when I found the family. I was given the family Bible, and in it was a note from him.
Wow.
Saying that I knew someday you would come looking. And so, I mean,
that's very special.
Hugely, and it just, I mean, my heart was just full. I mean, it was breaking to know that I was still thought of in regards to, and being loved by the family. So it was just beautiful. So what was your aha moment then when you really knew? I mean, you went into the Marines and you've done a lot of different things, and really a lot around franchising and the leadership, the small business. But what was your aha moment when you said, "I got this. I know exactly what I'm going to do"?
I don't think I ever had such a moment.
Okay, I know I'm still looking for mine.
I think a lot of those and I'm sure it happens. I'm sure that God in an audible voice reaches down and speaks to some people. It just hasn't happened to me. I believe that God speaks to us through will, mind, memory, imagination, emotions. But I just didn't, I think most of the time, I think there's a broad range of possibilities in life. I think philosophically, it's getting the things that count right, is an example. Foundational values, character, deciding what you believe in, what you don't believe in, measuring your steps in line with that. One of the greatest legacies the Marine Corps gave me was just that. I understood the basic principles of leadership. I didn't ask somebody to dig my foxhole. I dug it for myself. I ate the troops. I'd be the last one to eat. Basic principles that I've used throughout all of my life in all of these businesses. So I think learning on the way. We talked about the journey a while ago. Right. In that book. That's what it's about. It's the fact that all of us are gifted with this life. Every person that has ever lived on this planet, everyone that lives today, ever will populate this globe, is on the same journey. Yeah. And I believe that there are one of 2 destinations for that journey, and they're predisposed by the decisions that we make along the way. And some are good and some are bad. We learn. It doesn't take long to realize. You and I spend a lot of our time talking about success with other people. That's perhaps the more important discussion would be significance, because they're 2 different things.
Yes.
Realize after a while that all the money, all the fame, all the wealth and influence and power don't bring happiness. You said something just a moment ago about how important it was to know that you loved. Our lives are defined by people that choose to love us and choose not to, and those we choose to love and choose not to.
Right.
The whole journey, we were talking about relationships being the primary driver, is about relationships. It's I'll tell you, in business today, in my last 25 years as a CEO, I don't think I can think of a single person that was ever fired because of misfeasance or malfeasance. I can think of a lot of people that couldn't handle relationships either vertically or horizontally.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
And that is.
We have to learn basic skills. The Harvard Business School, Sloan Management, the MBA courses in these colleges don't teach us how to listen.
They don't.
Teach us how to speak. They don't teach us how really to write. They don't teach us how to do communicate, the basic things that are required to get along and go up, as you say. And so, I think this journey is the teacher, and it's keeping a dream. It's maintaining passion. It's understanding that there's a tragic flaw in life. The reality is, we pray for long life. You live long enough, you're going to lose everybody.
Yes.
So it's just that simple. So you have to keep things in balance, and you have to embrace some pretty basic things, I think, that are real drivers to success. I like
what you said about being the teacher, and that's a part how I feel. And again, working through some of the things that I've had to work through. Again, with the adoption and learning, and meeting my real family. And through all of that, I feel that I become the teacher to others.
You are a teacher.
Yeah. That, you can move through this. You can find the path that works for you and move down that path. But don't forget, then you also need then to pass it forward. I totally believe in the pass it forward philosophy, and that you then be the teacher to somebody else coming behind you. So I totally get what you have to say. Well, I would love to keep chatting, but we are out of time.
Oh, no.
We're out of time.
The most important things that we're going to talk about, I haven't gotten there yet, Connie.
Well, let's have to have you back on the show, because this has been great.
I love it.
This has been really awesome, Jim. I appreciate you having here. Love that you've been here. And again, let our listeners know how to find you.
JimAmosBlog.com.
JimAmosBlog.com. Well, Jim, thanks for being here. Author, speaker, passion for life, teacher. It's just been great. Just phenomenal having you here. And definitely would love to have you back on.
I would love to come back. God bless you and all that you're doing. Thanks for what you're doing.
Well, thank you. And thank you to everybody out there listening. Thanks for being part of our community. And remember, go to Facebook. Join the Up or Out Network community, and we're going to continue having many more conversations just like you're hearing here with Jim Amos. And also join us and like us and follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn and iTunes, because you don't want to miss any of the good stuff. It's been great being here with you today. Ask yourself, if you could do something different to get a different result, what would you be doing right now? This is Connie Fife, your Unstoppable Diva, and you're listening to Up or Out with Connie. Until next time, be bold, be connected, and be unstoppable together.